These are the 10 greatest world visits in the Kingdom Hearts series. Ever since 2002, Sora, Donald, and Goofy have traveled across the cosmos, meeting new friends and setting out on new adventures. Each Kingdom Hearts game is made up of worlds focused on Disney properties and those that are completely original. These are the main locations where gameplay can be found and focus on pushing the story forward. Although not every world is cut from the same cloth. Certain worlds have gone above and beyond with what it means to be a successful Kingdom Hearts world, either offering players intense combat situations, engaging story, or beautiful level design. It's also common for worlds to return in future titles with their own forms of content. These 10 are considered the best because how they bring everything that makes Kingdom Hearts special together. I look back at these most fondly throughout my adventures. Of course, let me know in the comment section below. Do you have a favorite world visit? Because I promise you there's no way we're gonna have the same exact list. There are dozens of different world visits to choose from different titles in the series. For starters, I don't even have Twilight Town from Kingdom Hearts 2 on this list, even after I made a video talking about how much I love that world. It's a cruel game out here. With that being said, these are the 10 greatest world visits in the Kingdom Hearts series. Kingdom Hearts 1 Olympus is the first true test of the player's strength in the game, offering up round after round against heartless enemies and occasionally encountering Final Fantasy characters like Cloud, Yuffie, and Leon. The world itself is only made up of 3 rooms: the opening area, the vestibule, and the actual arena. Here, Sora and friends are introduced to Hercules and Phil, both characters who become key players in Sora's growth as a character and a Keyblade wielder. Not only that, but new cups would unlock as the player progresses through the story. After a while, Sora can take on the Hades Cup, which is essentially 50 rounds of non-stop violence. Later on even, players can face this cup alone or with a time trial to unlock some pretty neat gear for Donald and Goofy. And for the incredibly cynical, it's possible to face off against Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. Of course, he's considered one of the toughest battles in the game, and finally defeating him is an incredible accomplishment. Also, Hades is just an absolute treat. James Woods brings so much personality and character to the role, it's nearly impossible to imagine Hades without him. Fortunately, it's been consistently him throughout the series. Just a combination of incredibly tough bosses and engaging Final Fantasy character interactions make Olympus rank pretty high for me. Let me start by saying that the Caribbean from Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't one of the best stories out there. It pulls the plot directly from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and it kinda just attaches Sora to the end of it. But truly, everything else about this world shines so brightly that I enjoy coming back to it every time. It's easily one of the biggest worlds in the series and features tons of hidden caverns and coves to explore. Sora receives his own pirate ship where he can sail the seas with Jack Sparrow. Just looking at this world shows Square Enix really put their whole back into it. The graphical style for this world is so beyond anything else we've seen in the series. To see Donald and Goofy rendered in this realistic style without them being completely jarring is impressive. Not only that, but it's really fun to explore the sea. There's so many small islands with tons of treasure chests to find. Not only that, but I love facing off against Davy Jones. Kingdom Hearts 3 seriously lacked Disney presence in the boss battle department, but Davy Jones did not disappoint. It's ambient with it taking place directly within a whirlpool with a Kraken attack, and I'm just a big fan of fighting bosses within the same weight class as Sora. Now, with how Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be with more realistic graphics, the Caribbean was definitely the precursor to make that happen. Neverland makes an appearance in the Kingdom Hearts series a handful of times, but my personal favorite has always been the one from Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 1 to this day is still one of the best stories in the series, connecting each world visit with another to push towards a bigger narrative. At this point in the story, tensions are high between Sora and Riku. Kairi's been out of the game for quite a while, and Sora has been worried sick. Neverland is the first time they're all joined together again, although it's not the circumstance Sora would have wanted. Of course, there's also the excellent battle against the Shadow Sora in Hook's cabin. Defeating it leaves it hanging there in a moment of shame, and it's incredibly creepy. Not only that, but this is the world where Sora gets his iconic glide ability, making it easier for Sora to reach previously inaccessible locations. It returns in most entries of the series and is even included in Sora's inclusion in Super Smash Bros. That's one of the small Disney references that no one ever talks about, and sometimes I just like to come back to this world and fly around. Neverland really is a treat. My all-time favorite world from Kingdom Hearts 3. The Kingdom of Corona is what Kingdom Hearts worlds can be with a giant AAA budget. Following the plot of the film Tangled, Sora and friends help Rapunzel on her way to the kingdom to see the light ceremony. Of course, that leads Sora to escorting her across the lands against dangerous, heartless nobodies. My favorite thing about this world is how Rapunzel looks at everything with such wonder. There are tons of optional interactions with Rapunzel that Sora can do, like splashing her with water or bringing her birds. Not only that, but this world is just pleasant to explore. The lush green scenery goes so far with tons of hidden secrets around every corner. Upon making it to the kingdom, we can make Sora dance. I mean, we always knew we had it in him from previous games, but to see him let loose like this, it's just nice to see a Disney adventure that's polished like this in so many ways. The Light Lantern Festival is truly a spectacle, and I love looking out of the water when in battle. It's also the first new Disney world that was introduced in Kingdom Hearts 3 way back when, so seeing this location go from its alpha and beta stages to its final form was really something else. Of course, I cannot have a greatest world visits in the video without including Hollow Bastion. Arguably one of the greatest final video game levels of all time, Hollow Bastion just has everything to it. From the challenging boss fights, emotional cutscenes, and enjoyable exploration. In general, Kingdom Hearts 1's world design focuses more on platforming and solving puzzles. Hollow Bastion is a culmination of all that put to the test, opening the world with gorgeous waterfalls only to have Sora lose his Keyblade right at the very beginning. Especially with how Riku has been treating Sora throughout the entire game, you also lost your closest friends at this point, leaving Sora to be alone with the beast. And even when you don't have the Keyblade, Beast is there to pick up the slack and put in tons of work. Not only that, but it's a location where players can finally lay hands on Riku. After his constant taunting and bickering throughout the game, to finally be able to put the beats on him is everything I could have asked for. Those who have played the original Kingdom Hearts 1 on the PlayStation 2 knows that it was impossible to skip the cutscenes back then. The scene right before the Ansem Riku fight will always be a part of my heart because of how often I heard it. There's also Maleficent as well, who offers two pretty challenging boss fights. I just want to mention how cool this character is in general, mainly because she could have been just another Disney villain like all the other rest, but she's really coming to her own as a Kingdom Hearts character more than anything. It's also the location where Sora finally gets to reunite with Kairi after so long, directly before that being one of the most emotional scenes in the game. Truly, from start to finish, Hollow Bastion has something special to offer. Acting as the first location for Sora and friends in Kingdom Hearts 3, Olympus does exactly what it needs to do to show off the game's spectacle. That's one thing I can say that Kingdom Hearts 3 gets correctly. You really feel flashy and powerful for all the crazy stuff that Sora can pull off. Upon visiting, Sora wishes to regain his strength after losing it all in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Upon visiting Hercules, it's shown that Hades is finally attacking with the power of the Titans. We get to explore the burned down Thebes, a beautiful mountainside, and the upper clouds of Olympus itself. It's excellent to see this world that was originally just 3 rooms evolve in such a big way. One of my favorite things about this world is the optional puzzle players can complete to get a Goofy shield. It's a small thing, but really leans into the interactivity that Kingdom Hearts 3 was all about. The only thing I could say that would make this world better would be the inclusion of a Coliseum. When the older titles have it, it being absent here really holds it back a little bit. But every time I boot up Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm so excited to go back to Olympus. It's such a bright and colorful location with tons of hidden paths throughout the mountains. There's also that small comment about Pete making fun of Sora's strength at the beginning, acknowledging that he's lost all his strength since their last encounter. And Maleficent decides to spare him to avoid wasting time. What a bozo! Anyway, Olympus is great. I love it. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure if you can count this one as a world visit, but who cares, it's my video. Rather, it's a starting location of Kingdom Hearts 1, and I'm definitely gonna include it. In Kingdom Hearts 1, Sora is tasked with running around the island and collecting preparations for their trip. Sora, Riku, and Kairi all plan to sail away from their homelands to new worlds afar. So we're gathering items like mushrooms, fish, clean drinking water, and so much more. This might seem like a mindless fetch quest, but there's so much that players can learn from this trip. It's even possible to face off against a variety of Final Fantasy characters on the beach, and it's the birthplace of the legendary rivalry between Riku and Sora. Between the sword fighting minigame and the race to decide who names the ship, it's just a reminder that these characters are just a bunch of stupid kids. Little did they know what dark future has been awaiting for them. And all throughout the series, there's always been a plea to return back to the Destiny Islands. While it doesn't make sense in any gameplay way, Destiny Islands functions so powerfully off of just vibe. It's a nice place we want Sora to return to. When we got to do a little of that in Kingdom Hearts Remind with a data greeting, it was a nice little bonus. Hopefully we can return to this world visit on the mainland to get more context to their home. But Destiny Islands has always been a special place in my heart, and this is one of the places I think about when I think about Kingdom Hearts worlds. I think this works as a perfect polar opposite to the Destiny Islands, not only in the fact that the end of the world is a fallen Destiny Islands, but the fact that it's also one of my favorite locations. Right upon entering, the tone is immediately set that this is going to be a quiet and dead world. Sora is walking on near nothingness trying to save his friends from the darkness. Each world is populated with dangerous Heartless that can finish Sora and his friends off in a single hit. And each world is represented by a single room where players can battle against Heartless in there as well. Of course, what really makes this special is the inclusion of Chernobog from Fantasia. I've always been a fan of when Square Enix introduces Disney characters into the narrative in creative ways. Not only that, but it's a fairly tough fight that rewards the player's patience. It is then made much easier for those who go out of their way to get a Roga from collecting all of the Dalmatians. After beating Chernobog, it's a descent into darkness to face off against one of the most challenging enemies in the game. Not him. It's just room is just a wall of pain and suffering. Clearing out this onslaught of constant death is one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had. It almost feels impossible until you pull up your bootstraps and get it together. Learning when to block, cast arrow, cure, and run is essential at every second. And the reward for clearing this is the tranquil final rest, being the last area before players can face off against the final boss. It's a nice little space that's fairly peaceful, especially after that heartless nightmare that just came before it. I look forward to this final dungeon every time I boot up Kingdom Hearts 1. And to follow up the final area for Kingdom Hearts 1, I gotta mention the final area in Kingdom Hearts 2. All throughout Kingdom Hearts 2, this mysterious city has been teased in the background. It occasionally appears in footage with Roxas and his long-forgotten history with the organization. It's where we need to bring down the organization once and for all. And finally arriving at this point in the story does not disappoint. Right out of the opening gate, Sora teams up with Axel to beat down an endless array of nobodies. After which, Axel sacrifices himself so Sora can continue on his journey. Even then, this action awakens Roxas, and if you've played the Final Mix versions of the game, which I'm pretty sure is the version most of you you have been playing, then you know this is where one of the coolest fights in the game is going to happen. Sora versus Roxas in Keyblade to Keyblade combat. Even after the battle and the somber cutscene that comes to follow, the world doesn't stop giving. From that point on, it's on site with every member of the organization. Battle after battle, clapping after clapping, until we finally face off with the big dog himself. Xemnas is finally ready to enter his version of Kingdom Hearts, and we gotta take Riku and friends to bring him down. Oh yeah, that also happened. There was a giant explosion that turned Riku back into his genie's dreamboat self, and the Destiny Island trio got back together for the first time in forever. Then the final boss is something that is only spoken of in legend. Sora is literally taking down the city to bring down Xemnas. After 4 phases of an incredible battle, the story of Kingdom Hearts 2 comes to a close. The world that never was really rewards the player with the resolution that they need for this game. Especially after the organization has been taunting us the entire time, it was excellent finally teaching them a lesson. Now, the rest of the other worlds in this video aren't really in any particular order. I think they all do a fantastic job in what they aim to accomplish, but there is one world visit that I adore more than any other, and that's the visit to Hollow Bastion in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's everything that makes Kingdom Hearts special in a Kingdom Hearts sense. There's the Disney mix with Merlin and Tron and Winnie the Pooh. Then there's the Final Fantasy with so many characters it would be redundant for me to list them all. And of course, I cannot miss out on talking about the Cavern of Remembrance. It acts as the final true challenge for those looking to go above and beyond the post-game, requiring players to max out all their drive abilities in order to successfully just navigate the place, while also throwing Sora in some of his most dangerous wild encounters yet. And it all leads up to the Garden of Assemblage. Here, Sora can face off against all 13 members of the organization, each with their own special abilities and mechanics to learn. Hollow Bastion, or Radiant Garden rather, is a world that is prevalent throughout the entire game. At the very beginning, acting as a starting point for Sora's adventure, in the middle when the entire town is being attacked and everyone comes together to fight back, then at the very end with one of the beefiest post-game dungeons in the series. It's all quality throughout Kingdom Hearts 2. I could honestly gush about this world for hours alone, but let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. I really had to sit long and hard about which worlds I thought would be the most impactful for me, and these are the 10 I'm selecting, and I hope more make an appearance in Kingdom Hearts 4. Honestly, if they ever included a Wreck-It Ralph world, I would immediately put that on this list. Wreck-It Ralph will always be my number 1, but if I could get a Muppets theme world, that would be everything. I also made a video for top 10 Keyblades, which will appear right after this. But yes, these are the top 10 greatest world visits. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and stay awesome.